Hi traders, this is Chris from Elite Currency with a new video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. This is the euro dollar 4-hour chart, and price failed to break above the resistance trend line that we had here, indicated by this purple line. Failed to break above the long-term moving average. There's a big wick on top. Let's zoom in there a little bit. You can see that that is a bearish candle. We needed a bullish candle to clearly push and break and close above those resistance levels for a bullish breakout, and in that case we were expecting an ABC. We didn't get that. We got a big wick. In fact, here, as you can see, in a bearish candle, that started a bearish momentum. Price eventually broke below the 21 EMA, and that kicked off a bigger downside. Now price is approaching the previous bottom, and I think that that could still be a bouncing spot. As I already indicated on, I think it was Tuesday or over the weekend, that this could still be basically an ABC pattern like this being an A, here being a B, and up we go for a C. So that wave B could have been finished right here, but it is perhaps getting an expansion to a lower low here, or basically a bouncing spot around 114.50, I think. Now, if it breaks below this zone, breaks below 114.30, 114.60 support zone, of course that would change things. That would invalidate the bullish ABC that I expect, and then price could be in a bearish breakout, and we'll be looking for trades to the downside. There could be bearish momentum in that case that could bring price, well, way further, in fact. We'll take a look at those targets in just a second. For the moment, though, I don't think that is the most likely scenario. I think more probable is that price will bounce somewhere in here around the weekly S1. There could be a reversal. I wouldn't be surprised to see a V-Valley reversal like this, and then a flag, and then a break up towards the 117 area, right, target zone, for that A, B, C to the upside, and then move down again like this to complete a bigger wave C. This would be completing wave B, this would be wave A, and down it goes for wave C. That's what I'm expecting for the moment. So I think that this could be a bouncing spot. Let's put on the fib from here to here. There we go. And you can see that basically price is approaching a 78.6 fib and 88.6 fib. Those are deep fibs. I know sometimes they don't hold, but typically those are good bouncing spots with small risk, because the stop loss could be below here. This bottom is enough. And there's a small risk here in terms of pips at least, and then a potential big target in terms of pips in relationship to this small risk, right? In terms of pips, this is maybe looking at like 40 pips, 50 pips, but the target could be something like 250 to 70-ish. So there's a good reward to risk ratio. There's also a potential head and shoulders pattern, the left shoulder, right shoulder, and head. Now, if it doesn't hold, if price doesn't bounce there, waiting for engulfing twins, by the way, could also be a better approach, because then we got a confirmation the price is turning. Engulfing twins on the 4-hour chart, even a good daily candle stick pattern would be useful, or sometimes a more aggressive approach could be to use the 1-hour chart, right? And the 1-hour chart looks like it's completing a 5-wave pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be the 5th wave of that bigger wave C that we were looking at. So this being like an ABC within the bigger blue ABC. Anyhow, looking at the daily chart, if it does break through this bottom at 114.30, then there's space down to 113, the previous bottom, and if it breaks below 113, then it could go to perhaps 110, for instance. That's kind of the space that I'm thinking about for the moment. So let's see, if it really pushes below this bottom, that could be a very interesting breakout, because in that case, we had a downtrend, we had an ABC correction here, and this could be the restart of the downtrend, break, pull back, continue. So I don't want to underestimate or underplay that. That is definitely interesting, but it needs to break. I need to see a good daily candle close below the support level. A candle close like this, that would be enough for me. That would look great. Candle close near the low as well, pushing below that 114.30. Look for kind of a correction this week or next week, and then look for a continuation down to those targets. I think that could be very interesting. Yesterday was a very bearish candle, but for the moment, I think that this could still be a bouncing spot for a continuation of this sideways zone. Also, we want to keep an eye on the fact that last week's weekly candle was bullish, so that low of last week is a potential bouncing spot, and will not break, I think, easily. So that is another reason, another factor that plays along with the expectation that price could bounce. All right, pound dollar did make a bounce at the trend line here. and is now moving lower, broke below the 21 EMA. Now it's testing the 144 EMA again. It already had several bounces, 1, 2, third bounce, fourth bounce. Now, however, it seems to be breaking. This fifth attempt seems like price will be able to push below the 144 EMA. The 144 EMA is a critical moving average in the SWOT method and in our trading. And you can see that there's going to be probably a breakout here. Pound dollar overall, I think, remains a little bit difficult because the higher time frames are a little bit easier. I talked about that already. Just quickly, I think that this could be a wave 4, basically. Most likely is a wave 4, but could still see an expansion. If price breaks above the 21 EMA, wave 4 could still be expanded. For the moment, price seems to be holding at the 21 EMA on the weekly chart, right? So this could all be part of a wave 4 as well. This is the bigger weekly wave 4, but on a daily chart, we are probably in a wave 5, and within the wave 5, we're looking at probably a wave 4. Let me do that with orange like this, and this being a wave 3 right here. So if price manages to break below this support trend line, we are looking probably at a breakout and downtrend continuation, right? Clearly we had a downtrend here, so that would be a good continuation. Price tried to break here below the 21 EMA, didn't go too far. We got a new retracement, but we got a lower high. So I think that there's a fair chance that we will get a break to the downside now and a downtrend continuation. Of course, a break below the 21 EMA and the support trend line on the daily chart would certainly help. If we get that break, things would look a little bit more certain for the bearish side. So far, we've not had a bearish candle close below the 21 EMA. We are still waiting for that. I mentioned that already a couple of times now in the last videos, that looking for basically a bearish candle to break below this support. That would indicate for me the trigger for downside. That has not happened as yet. We did have a bit of a pullback and continue here to the downside. You can see that on the 4-hour chart. So we had an ABC pattern here like this. I moved down, hook back, failure to break this resistance, and now we're getting a lower low. So that could be good for the bears. Let's take a look at the hourly chart now. Yeah, we're getting what looks like to be a break below this bottom. It's still hesitant, still forming as we speak. Best to keep an eye on the 4-hour candle and see if it could close below 130.80. With the candle close near the low, that would indicate a dominant bearish candle and a pull away from this 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart at least. In that case, I think we're looking at a potential breakout. We could see maybe a flag like this and a breakout continuation, and I think we should see price continue to the downside. If, for whatever reason, price moves up strongly towards the 21 EMA, then makes a dip back and then breaks a second time above the 21 EMA, then in that case, something else is going on. This is not a bearish continuation at all. And if it does anything like that, for instance, like this, up, down, up, then it is breaking above this resistance. Then it's breaking above this resistance trend line as well. So if we get this, be careful, because in that case, it is looking like that this swing, and this swing are corrective patterns, in fact, and there could be a push up towards the resistance zone again. All right. So for the moment, let's keep an eye on the 4-hour chart. That's what I'm going to do. Excuse me. And if there is a pullback, like a flag after the break, if there's a flag, that would look good for more downside towards 130. And if it breaks 130, towards 129.20. And if it breaks that, then we'll be probably having that daily candle confirmation, and then we could expect a good breakout probably next week. All right, don't forget to check out our special offer. The link is in the description box. Wish you all great trading and talk to you soon. Cheers.